Hey, Facebook. All right, I'm doing a live stream from my laptop now, so it may take a moment to get going, but we'll be on in just a sec. There we go. All right, how's everyone doing today? If it's really glitchy, I will redo this video, but I think we should be good. Now, I'm going to jump into what is a relationship agreement. Let me make sure this is good. Just hang on with me like 5 seconds here to ensure that it's clear connection. Okay, looks like we're good. So, everyone, I get a lot of feedback from people on asking about my relationship with Jessica, and just in general, we've really thrown around this idea of relationships as agreements. And it's been really cool to see that people are looking deeper because, okay, have you ever had the experience where you have a relationship with a partner or with a friend and you're afraid of losing that relationship? And it's not really sure, like maybe you get into a fight or an argument and you're not sure if you're going to lose them. Yeah, that's not a fun place to be in. I've been in that position with the vast majority of my relationships throughout my whole life because I didn't know that there was a better way. But if you want to hear the better way, stay tuned and watch this video. And by the end, you can see maybe you can share this video with your partner and you can watch it together. I make a lot of videos with Jessica about this, specifically with intimate relationships. But in general, any business partner, friend, colleague, anyone that you care about, you can really set it up so that you two can be clear on what your agreement is, and then you don't have to worry about them disappearing or something like that. So we're going to get into that, and I will define what it means to have a relationship agreement. But just before that, let me share this. If we don't set up our relationship as an agreement, you're just going to be chasing some feeling. But we've all heard of that idea of the honeymoon phase, or like you have, the synergy or this, you vibe with someone. And it's like really cool for a while, but then it fades out. And it doesn't need to be that way anymore. You can actually have a relationship that builds over time and you add to each other's lives, and it's really, really fulfilling. And like anything in life, that's really worthwhile, it takes time to build. It's like if you had a garden, for example, and you plant seeds, they grow. And it takes time and it takes seasons, right? You go through seasons of life. But at a certain point, it bears fruit. And then it's like in full harvest. And that's what a relationship is like. I mean, life is a great teacher to show us what these truths are within life. And that's one, for example. So, what do you need in order to make sure that that garden is actually growing is an agreement on what you stand for. So, let's break this down. It's in the description here in my live stream, but I'll just read it to us and then we'll break it down. So, this is the principle of relationships as agreements. And if you haven't seen over the past 10 days, I've been sharing one principle a day of what I stand by. And so you can see through everything I do, these are the principles where I'm coming from. So this is a principle of relationships as agreements. Individuals coming together to support the manifestation of the best possible version of ourselves and each other. Nurturing each other's potential and supporting one another to transform weaknesses into strengths. Creating a safe space for the healthy expression of intimacy and sexuality. So this is within the context of a specific partner, but you can apply the majority of this to any relationship that you have. I have certain business partners, certain friends where we have established this is what we're agreeing to. Because as my businesses grow, as my life gets more busy, just looking ahead at the next few years, I know that there's a way better way to really maximize and really support other people when we're clear on why are we friends? Because that's a really great question to ask and to understand for yourself. So if you're spending time with people, to really get clear, this video may not be for everybody. There's going to be some people where you just say, oh, we're just friends because we're friends because we've always been friends. And if that's good enough for you, that's cool. And I'm not saying ditch your friends by any means, but I'm saying look at it. Why am I friends with this person? Because we both have a lot of similarities. We get along. Maybe we're headed in the same future. We both want to have families one day and our kids will be friends. Like, that's cool reasons. Just be clear on it. So that's what we're talking about here. Much more than just the top level, surface level of, oh yeah, we're just friends because we've always been friends, or we like to watch football together. Hey, if that's your purpose for being friends because you like to watch football together, okay, but at least be clear on that. So now let's break this down, what I just read. So this means individuals coming together to support the manifestation of the best possible versions of ourselves and each other. By manifestation, that just means making real, making manifest. So the best possible version of ourselves and each other, I mean, that's what I'm about. If you can't tell by now from the videos I make, I'm into becoming the best version of myself and supporting that within others, wherever they're at. If they're totally on the journey of doing what's best, or they're just starting to realize, hey, maybe there's more to life and I want more. Wherever you're at, that's the kind of relationship that I want to build with you and nurture that and have you support me with that, right? It's a reciprocal thing. Now, this next part is really cool, nurturing each other's potential and supporting one another to transform weaknesses into strengths. Yeah, a real friend will be able to give you feedback when you're not doing something in the best way that you could, and vice versa. Because if you're just building on your strengths, you're setting yourself up. I mean, would you rather just build on your strengths? Or would you at least want to be aware of where you're weak so you can build on that, transform it into a strength, and have friends? So let's say like you're really not good at math and you're convinced that you suck at math or suck at being logical, let's say, but you're like the really creative type. Or maybe you're the idea person, right? I hear that a lot. I'm the idea person. And you need an executor in your life, someone who can really make things happen. Well, one, you're going to have to learn how to convert that, and you're going to have to learn how to follow through. But also, you could really benefit from having a relationship with someone who is that opposite end of the spectrum, and you can really bond over that, and you can support them with what you're good at, and vice versa. So that's what we're talking about here. And then the last part is creating a safe space for the healthy expression of intimacy and sexuality. Well, sexuality is a core part of being a human, and intimacy is essential to being a human. Intimacy just meaning a deeper understanding of yourself and another, being able to share things about yourself. So it doesn't have to be this, like scary thing or like being vulnerable or whatever. Just intimacy is just the ability to go deeper within yourself, to look at yourself, to look at another person, and grow from that. So what does this actually practically look like, right? It's cool in theory. Okay, how do I make this real? Well, first, before you have an agreement with anyone else, you got to have an agreement with yourself. So grab a piece of paper or make a note and write out, what do I agree within myself? Like, do I want to have the best life possible? Do I want to be honest? Do I want to improve myself? Do I want to have a better life than my parents did? Find what that agreement is with yourself. Make that agreement first with yourself, because you can't give to another what you don't have with yourself. So that first is your relationship with you. Prioritize that. Now, when you're clear on that, start looking at because you're not going to overhaul all your friendships overnight. That's not the goal. Yet, there's probably a few really core people that you see. Maybe you have a best friend. Maybe you have a business partner or, a significant other. Then you can start looking at this. So, write out what's a few key things that you want to agree to. Like with your significant other, I agree to, be honest with you. I agree to improve our relationship. I agree to go on a date once a week. I agree to, whatever those things are that are important to you. And if you don't know what that is, you could write out a list with your partner, say, what do we value, with a question mark, and just start writing things down with them. This could be a fun exercise. You could do it over dinner, maybe, have a glass of wine together, whatever you want to do. I'm not advocating for drinking per se. I'm just saying find a time where it's like fun and you can have those conversations. Because if you've never had a conversation this deep, you may want to have a space where you can have that conversation. Not like when they're rushing off to work, you're like, hey, what do you value? Like, you gotta create a space for this stuff. And okay, when you can start getting clear on those things you value, even if it's two things, and you say, yes, I agree to this. Okay, I agree to this. Now you actually have something real, probably for the first time in your relationship. Because aside from that, you guys probably got together because you had some sort of romantic feeling or situation came about where you said, yep, we're going to be together. But until you make an agreement of, yes, we're together and we're together for these reasons, if you don't have that agreement, you are in trouble because you don't know what you agree to. And then it's some feeling or idea in your mind of like, well, we're together because like it feels right. We're together because like we don't want to be alone. At least be clear on that and be honest with yourself. Because then when you have that agreement, then over the next week, new ideas will pop up. You can say, hey, you know what? I would like to agree to this too, where you and I are our own, like we're only intimate with each other. Okay, cool. Now you agree to that. And if that's something that your partner isn't willing to do, well, good. Now you can have that conversation. And then eventually, like, so Jess and I, on our first date, well, I was really clear. When I knew that I wanted to form a relationship with her, I was very clear on it. I thought it through, and then I came to her and I said, hey, I want to be in a relationship with you. And here's the reasons why. And, we worked together and, there's already feeling of like we're already friends. And then it was very easy to build into having a relationship agreement. But then we have these principles that I'm literally making these videos on. And these are the principles that we agreed to. And we've come up with other ones, like we agree to be honest about our finances. We agree to, on the 1st and 15th of every month, track our finances. We agree to not emotionally manipulate each other for self-interest. Like, that's a pretty good one. And so there are other couples that we're friends with that also do this. And it's so cool because now as couples, we're able to support each other and we know what each other agree with. And so now we know we'll be friends for life. It's so cool. So that's a fresh perspective on relationships as agreements for you. My guess is you probably never even heard of something like this before. Or if you have, reach out because I would like to hear if other people are even talking about this, because this is one thing that has fundamentally changed my life. Like, no joke, relationships as agreements is one of the most important things I've ever done. And now I have a relationship with Jess where I know exactly what we agree to. So if one of us isn't meeting our end of that, we know exactly how to support each other with it. So this is completely the opposite of mainstream. Mainstream says, oh, you DM each other and then you like fall in love and you like, FaceTime and you like get dependent on each other. And it's just this like spiral. And it's not necessarily an upward spiral. But if you want your relationship to be an upward spiral, this is exactly how you do it. And if you haven't seen the videos that Jess and I have made, we have a YouTube playlist. I'll put it in the comments where we break down exactly how to do this in an intimate relationship. But then you can do this with friends, business partners, and things like that. Because I have guys that I work with where we've made these agreements. So now I know what standard to hold them to, and they know if I'm falling behind, they know what standard to hold me to. So we can have real, honest, authentic conversation about it. And I'm telling you that will fundamentally change your life. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for future videos on the principles. And look at this. I'm not making these videos just because I like to talk to myself. I'm making these videos because they're changing people's lives. And I have people reaching out in messages saying they've never even thought like this before. And now they're practicing figuring out their principles for themselves. And I promise you, you have right now, you had a current version of yourself. Let's say your name is Joe. Right now, you're Joe 4.0. You've gone through a certain amount of life, you've evolved, you've gone to the next level, okay? So Joe 4.0, that's what you're at now. This is how you get to Joe 5.0 or 7.0 or 10.0. Whatever that number is that you want to be, this is exactly how you do it. Because this is now you looking at yourself and saying, this is what I fundamentally agree to within myself, and that will be reflected in the outside world, I promise you. That's how it works. So if you're ready to go to version 5.0 of yourself or whatever version you're on, watch these videos, take notes, and look at it for yourself. If you're tripping up on it or you don't know what to do, leave a comment or send me a message, and we can go from there. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. There's a few more